welcome to Lowrider Studio. I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels that do not similar content, but like they just sit in front of a mic and talk. And I need to figure out my vibe because it's not consistent through any of the videos.
People start to like look for it and
Yeah.
expect it. And, yeah.
Yeah. So there was a guy that talks very softly, and he just talks.
Yeah, don't do that. That's creepy.
All right.
And in order to get that, I'm gonna need to put a lob on you.
Excellent. All right. And the thing is, I know I'm funny, but I am consciously telling myself, don't try to be funny because you will not be funny. You know what I mean? So I just have to let it happen on its own. So welcome to Lowriders. My name is Zach Quinones. I'm a screenwriter in LA. Mostly a failure, tiny little successes, and here to talk about screenwriting, everything about it. This episode, this video, whatever you want to call it, I've titled it Create Something That's Yours. I completely forgot where I heard this from. I was watching something on YouTube and just kind of going down the creative rabbit hole. But this is the reason why this kind of stuck with me, because I've had similar conversations with writers about this, is create something that's yours. And it sounds very direct and pretty straightforward, but there is a little bit of a nice little like accentuation to it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to read a thing by Andrei Tarkovsky. If you don't know who that is, Russian director, probably the best, greatest director of all time, depending on who you talk to. He's up there with like the Stanley Kubricks and the Akira Kurosawa and all that. So the quote he has is, "A book read by 1,000 different people is 1,000 different books." So obviously, the way I'm going to kind of like segue that into what I'm trying to get at is when I've done workshops with writers, I always tell them, above all anything else that you do, the goal should be to write a script that is so defined by you that nobody else could have written it. That doesn't mean be the most creative original per se. A good example is if you got 10 writers in a room and you all were given the same plot, the same log line, and were told to write a script, write a 10-page script, feature length. Yours would be so different from everybody's that it cannot be ignored. And I think that is almost more important than writing a good script, because a lot of people can write good scripts, but very few people can write a script that just people can't ignore. Obviously, you want to write a good script, but at the end of the day, I think if you want to write something that is safe and that can essentially be written by other writers if they were given the same prompt, you have to kind of like reevaluate what kind of writer you want to be, because every writer wants to be unique. Every writer wants to be kind of like their own thing, but at the same time, they don't really take full ownership of the scripts that they're writing. They don't make it theirs. And that's one of the things that one of my writing teachers in college used to tell me is that take what is normal and what is expected and flip it on its head. So that is a way that you can make something that's yours. And that's one way. There's a lot of different ways. And I would love for anybody to write in the comments different techniques and approaches that they have to take something simple and make it theirs. And on top of that, I think when it comes down to making something yours is that when somebody reads a script of yours, they should know it's written by you. And this applies a lot more easily to filmmakers. Like Wes Anderson, you could start a movie in the middle of a Wes Anderson movie and you know it's his. Christopher Nolan's like that pretty much as well. Tim Burton, like you can just kind of rail off. There's very few screenwriters that have sort of that. Quentin Tarantino is obviously one. He's, a combination of the two. Aaron Sorkin, when people hear certain dialogue in the way that, the pacing goes, they're like, that's an Aaron Sorkin script. Or it has to be written by, or it's somebody trying to copy Aaron Sorkin. So that's probably the other aspect of it. Really, really, really push to stand out that way. And I can't tell you really how to do it. That's something for you to figure out because you know yourself better than me. But those are a couple ways to kind of look at and figure out how can you make this yours. Again, put in the comments anything that you have to add to that. I'm always open to hearing everybody's discussions. And hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell, and more videos to come soon. I hate that outro.